Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Oh, yes, it is. It is the Daily Dish, and today's Monday! You know what that means? Monday's fun day. No, it's also Motivational Monday, and it's also the first day of the Spring Fling sale. We have a terrific sale going on. And by the way, you can get all that information in your email. If you're not getting our emails, why? Just go to savingdinner.com. We have these little pop-ups that come out. I know you don't like them. I don't like them either, but they do the trick. Put your name in there. You'll get all the information firsthand, first time, before everyone else, right? There's a bunch of people who've already taken advantage of our spring sale. Strong suggestion you do the same. Go to savingdinner.com/spring. That will help you to navigate all of it. We have up to 25% off. Stop. I'm serious. Every single solitary thing in the store is on sale. Everything. So stock up, go get your stuff. Don't be a supplement hoarder. Start taking your supplements. Watch how it magically changes everything. You feel so good. Also, we have such a quote today. Today is the first day of the Hot Melt Sprint. And with this first day of the Hot Melt Sprint, you have an opportunity to be decisive, to be on point, to be persistent, to be tenacious. Because you know what? Indecision is the decision to fail. That's what Raymond Charles Baker said millions of years ago. Well, not quite, but a lot of years ago. He said that, and it's true. We think we can wiggle out of decision by not making a decision, but it is a decision all the way along. It's a decision to fail. So I want to see the grit, not the quit. I want to see you show up in the best version of yourself because you have it within you. It's in your DNA. You're born that way. Okay? Born that way. Today's show is recorded, but guess what? Tomorrow will not. We will be here. We'll be on it. And boy, oh boy, you will be day 2 into the Hot Melt Sprint. Pinkies up if you are part of the Hot Melt Sprint. I sure hope so, because we are doing it all the way, 100% in. And that's what we're going to be talking about, because to go pro, which we were talking about all last week, means that you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. That's what it's all about. You know what? Comfort is the enemy. It is the enemy. We eschew discomfort. We avoid it. We stay away from it. But you think about everything that has grown into what it was supposed to be. Think about everything. Think about mothers. Think about chicks. Think about butterflies. All of them have faced struggle. They faced discomfort, but it was necessary to get the desired outcome, which was to be born, right? It's never pretty. It's never just clean and presto changeo done. But we think through, as we're going through this discomfort, all this discomfort, how unhappy we are because we're uncomfortable. I want to take you into a different place, and I want to make a case for why this isn't the case, right? To break through as a verb, or to have a breakthrough, which is a compound word and it's a noun, there's 2 different things that we need to look for. Number 1 is when it's a noun, it's a sudden, dramatic, and important development or discovery. That's what a breakthrough does. It's an important discovery. And discoveries are always from the unknown, aren't they? They're always risk factor involved. There's always from the unknown. Discoveries are never made from the comfort of a couch, ever. The only discovery you can make from the comfort of your couch is that it's a mistake to stay comfortable. That's the only discovery we can make there. It's also about achieving success. Think about, they say, oh, it was his breakthrough album, so, like a musical star or something. Of course. But to break through is to force your way through something that's stopping you from moving forward. Think about that for a minute. You go through, you bust through, you don't let it stand in your way. That's what a breakthrough is. And pros know to have a breakthrough, you need to consistently break through. Sometimes you have to chip away at it. Sometimes you just have to figure out another path. But this is what happens when glass ceilings are broken. Ask any woman who has broken a glass ceiling at their place of employment. I did way back in the 80s. I broke a glass ceiling. I was the first woman that was hired to do a man's corporate job. That's a glass ceiling. With the vote, women broke the glass ceiling for the vote. Civil rights broke the glass ceiling for segregation. Think about that. Protesters break through police barriers. We've seen that, or too much of that. Connecting the dots in your life is a breakthrough sometimes, because sometimes you don't see it until you stop to start connecting those dots. And then when we make a decision for ourselves, when we're pro ourselves, what do? We find a way, just like Diane and I did. Man, there's a lot of sharks out there, and there's a lot of stinging jellyfish, but it's not going to deter us when we are on the place and the path of purpose. We have to stop giving up, is the deal. So sometimes on the way to breakthrough, we feel directionless and lost, but that is not true. It's merely discomfort. So when we are in that place of feeling all of this stuff, it's because we have made a decision to not live in the unconsciousness of what we do anymore. In other words, we've stopped just going through the motions. We're living on purpose. We're noticing things, and we notice the discomfort, don't we? Bruce Lipton, you remember that book, Biology of Belief? He said that 95% of us live our lives in the unconsciousness. In other words, we're just going through the motions. Every single day looks pretty much like yesterday. It's all about Groundhog Day over and over and over again. And sometimes we even question who we are. We've seen funny memes in Facebook, but a quote I love that puts us right back to the whole meaning of who we are is this one, okay? Who am I that the Lord of all the earth would care to know my name, would care to feel my hurt? That's a song lyric from Casting Crowns. Think about that. Who am I? It puts everything in perspective, doesn't it? But the God of all the heavens and earth and the universe does know your name, does know the number of hairs on your head, does know every single solitary thing about you, and put you here on purpose and for purpose. And my friends, that is enough. That is enough. Our mission then is to discover and to find that purpose. And remember, purpose fluctuates, it changes in seasons. Of course, it has to, especially if you're in charge as a mother of little kids, and especially if you're in charge as an adult with an elderly parent. These are precious jobs that we are called to do, but they don't last forever. And from that point, if we are in the business of noticing and in the business of being curious and in the business of being about our purpose, the new purpose will always reveal itself. Promise. Always. But being uncomfortable is part of embracing the good change that your hands are creating, that you are creating. So how do we do this, though? Actually embrace this discomfort. How do we embrace it and know that it's part of this process? Well, I've got how many things? 5, I guess. 5 things. Yes, I got 5 things. They're juicy. You ready? You taking notes? If not, don't forget, you can get the show notes in tomorrow's email. It's easy. Just go to savingdinner.com and there you are. And also don't forget about that spring sale, by the way. You would really not like it if you didn't get a hold of that. So number 1 is, if you want something you've never had, you're going to have to do something you've never done. Sound familiar? Now you can turn that into a mantra, by the way. Remind yourself of that. I want something I've never had, therefore I'm going to have to do things I've never done before. And sometimes it's things that you have done before, but you haven't stayed consistent with it. That's still something you haven't done before, right? Staying consistent. New, difficult, hard, struggle, mistakes, all are uncomfortable. But get this, They are all necessary. Nobody does it and just goes whoop and leapfrogs into easy and comfortable. There is something in that crucible of finding your purpose, of finding the new way, of creating the new life that you want. It's all about vibrancy as well, by the way. It's always about vibrancy, and vibrancy can be done this way. Number 2, discomfort is what we need because what we avoid is usually what we need. Have you noticed that? It's so true. What we avoid is usually what we need. And, we get sore from doing exercise, but is there anybody on this planet who doesn't need to exercise? I say no. We all need to exercise. We all need to get out there and do it, but it's not going to be pain-free. No. So for me personally, when I addressed my food addiction, yes, I had a food addiction. And instead of going on the usual carousel of crazy, of just doing the same thing, diet, shampoo, rinse, repeat, gain the weight back, and then do it again, I came to terms with what it is, with what everything was about. I came to terms with there's certain things I just need to abstain from. There are things that I need to protect myself from, just like an alcoholic with a drink or a drug addict with a needle. I have to protect myself from that. But when we do address the discomfort of whatever it is that's confronting us, looking us straight in the eye, and we've been avoiding it for all these years, we come to a place of new understanding. And that curiosity opens up a new door and helps us to seek new things about ourselves and dig deep. That's where the strength comes from, is not being afraid of what's inside. Number 3, discomfort means your experience may help someone else down the road. Just like number 2, right? Your experience might help someone down the road. I know my experience with food addiction helps somebody else down the road because my empathy for people who've had food addiction comes born out of my experience. I understand what it feels like. I understand what it feels like to feel hopeless. I understand what it feels like to be out of control. So this is why I share my story. This is why I tell the story over and over again of the M&Ms chopping up the roof of my mouth and making me feel like crap and crying through the whole situation. Because I know that feeling of hopelessness. But the discomfort of that is nothing compared to, sometimes we think, to the discomfort of going to the next place and the next level up. It's hard, it's unknown, it's difficult, it's a struggle. We at least know this other one. But leaving that behind, the victory, the way you feel as you leave it behind, worth every single struggle, worth all the mental anguish, worth all the physical withdrawal, worth it all. It's getting to that point of understanding that that's what breakthroughs are all about. Number 4, when we understand that we're here on purpose, for purpose, it doesn't mean that the struggle goes away, that the doubts, the refinement, the uncertainty, even the desire to stop goes away. It doesn't. It just means we've acknowledged that who we are matters. And that needs to matter more than what it is that we're struggling against. Make sense? Number 5, transformation and leveling up. They both exact a cost. Absolutely. The reward is great, but the road is way less traveled. And I will tell you, it's easy to know this by just simply going into the Hot Melt Sprint group. People come and people go. The road less traveled are the people who start out hot and then fizzle out and they're gone. But I will tell you, Flynn is an example. Tanya is an example. We got a lot of women in there that are examples of staying the course and staying with it. Sometimes you cha-cha up 2 steps and sometimes you cha-cha back 5. But the point is that you don't give up on yourself. You do not quit. So I'm asking you this. Are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you? Are you willing, for the sake of your own growth, to leave behind the comfort of the couch and find your life better? Leave the old one behind. Leave the old caving in and not giving, not staying the course. How about This is day 1 of the Hot Melt Sprint. And tomorrow will be day 2. And each day I'm going to be in there giving it my best effort and being excellent. How about that? How about making a decision to do that instead of making an indecision and just kind of going with the flow? That's what you're about. That's who you are. And you are worthy of that. And you have that strength inside of you, deep, deep inside. So muster it. And we muster it by looking for it. And when we start to notice that, yes, it's there. Yes, I can make that decision. Yes, I can stand in my own power even. And you're going to see something about yourself you never saw before. You're going to see a strength and a tenacity. You're going to see yourself following through. You're going to see yourself in a whole new light. And you know what that is? That is you being vibrant. That is you practicing your vibrancy on the path of purpose. So stop stopping. Stop quitting on yourself. Because the fact of the matter is, whether you know it or not, inside of you is all the grit you need. Go dig for it. Okay? All right. There you go. Day 1. We are going to be back again tomorrow for Transformational Tip Tuesday. And I want to remind you, the Spring Fling sale is going. Now, here's the deal on that. Up to 25%. So you just have to look at each product has a different price on it, but 25% off is huge. The other thing that you need to know as you go in here to go shopping and everything is that when things run out, we'll let you know and we will close down that sale because there are no rain checks. There's no nothing. You just got to get it while it's there. Okay? So go get it. savingdinner.com/spring. I will see you tomorrow. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.